Hare Krishna, everybody. Good morning. Hmm. All right. So today we will be continuing with the second session of intrapersonal and interpersonal communication workshop. Today we'll be focusing more into the bridge between intrapersonal and interpersonal. And I'm very happy to introduce to you all my very dear friend. I don't know what we are. Are we like classmates, batchmates? In this training that we've had, we kind of like worked together in the got training in the same place. So I'm very happy to introduce you. She's a professional coach. She's also a temple president, and she is the mother of two children. And she kindly agreed to give us her expertise and her association today to share more about intrapersonal communication styles. And today we'll be focusing on two very important things. So over to you, Brenda Sundari. Whenever you need me, I'm here.
Hare Krishna. Thanks for having me.
We cannot. Oh, let me see.
No?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes.
Yeah? Okay. Okay. Yeah. So I'm really appreciating what I'm hearing from you about what you've all been studying and doing together and the space that you're creating together. So I'm happy to be here and share whatever I can add to the amazing things that you're already doing. So yeah, there's the interpersonal like relationship with other people and intrapersonal relationship with ourselves. And the relationship that we have with ourselves, it directly affects the relationships that we have with other people. So that the way that we interact with ourselves will come out in our relationship with other people. So as you know, we have the essential self, the spiritual self, and we have the mental, emotional self, the subtle body, and then we have the physical body. So those two other bodies, which are not completely spiritual, those physical and mental, emotional bodies, when we pay attention to them and bring them into alignment with our desires, our conscious desires for our spiritual self, then we can be a wholesome, integrated being, which is, it gives a sense of deeper fulfillment in life and aligns more favorably towards our devotional life, and everything else can follow, our family life, our relationships. So you all know that each living entity has its own particular personal relationship with the Supreme. And in that relationship, Krishna, the divine, loves every single individual living entity in the highest, deepest way. Like every molecule of that living entity, the Supreme loves. And so when we know that, we can also know that naturally the self will want to love itself. If the self is wanting to love Krishna, then naturally the self would want to appreciate its own self in that relationship. So sometimes we'll find, or we may not find, but we'll discover as we go through our practice of our spiritual practices or our self-discovery journey, that there are some beliefs that we might have, and they can be quite subtle, but they can come out in the way that we interact with others and interact with ourselves. So I thought that we could do a little exercise, a writing exercise. Yeah. Shiraya Govinda Devi, should I lead that?
Yes.
Okay. So this exercise is, maybe I won't introduce too much. We'll go through it experientially. But if you could all
It's an individual exercise.
What's that?
It's an individual exercise they will do.
Yeah. Okay. So each of you, if you could get out a piece of paper, a sufficient size piece of paper and something to write with. And you can divide the paper into 2 columns so that there's 2 columns for writing. And we'll start on the left side of the paper. I'll give you a little time to do that. So on that left column, write at least 14 self-defeating beliefs that you have about yourself. As self-defeating means beliefs that you know have been in your conscious, in your thoughts, maybe some obvious, maybe some not so obvious, maybe some have popped up here and there, and some are tenacious and daily beliefs that you've had about yourself that defeat the self, that degrade it, that put it down. It can be something like, I'm incapable of living a balanced life. I'm not a good devotee. I can't take care of myself. I'm not a good mother or parent. Things that are sort of berating or self-defeating. Please write at least 14 if you can.
Not 14,000. One more minute.
Okay, is that enough time?
Yeah.
So take a look at your list. Just make some simple observations. Just simply notice what you have written, which ones, how many start with I can't, how many have to do with your body, how many have to do with your mind, how many have to do with relationships. Just look, simply notice. And then on the second column, write at least 14 self-affirming truths. So the self is spiritual, it's vibrant, it's magnanimous, it's beautiful. As a part and parcel of the divine, it has all the qualities in a smaller quantity, but has all the qualities of the divine. So knowing that, write self-affirming truths, and you could do it where you're writing a self-affirming truth for each of the self-defeating beliefs, or you could just free write self-affirming truths. You could pair them up, or you can just free write. So if you're having struggle, if you're struggling, I can give an example. Here's a personal one that I have. A self-defeating belief I have about myself is that I'm bossy, overbearing, and controlling. So a self-affirming truth is, I care about who I'm working with. I care about what I'm working with, and I want things to be the best for Krishna. So that's true.
Okay, we can wrap it up.
And then take a few moments to finish.
We've all been working on not being overthinkers.
Okay.
A lot of work. So I'm hoping that they were able to like just get it out, whatever comes up.
Okay. Okay. So take a few moments to look at your lists. You can maybe take note about what things you struggled with in this exercise. Were there any self-defeating beliefs that you had a hard time to accept that they were self-defeating? What maybe some of them felt like they were more truth than false. You can take note of that. And then Shira Govinda Devi, are we going to do any sharing now? Is that what we'll do?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So would anyone like to share their observations of this exercise, or any realizations or thoughts?
We can go ahead. I'll just go ahead with my list, and I think I have 2 minutes. Or how much time?
No, not 2 minutes, 1 minute.
So I wrote the first one, I'm stupid, and That was my self-defeating belief. And the second column was I want to be wise. That's my desire. And second one was I haven't contributed anything to world. That was my self-defeating belief. And second column was I desire to serve world. I desire to serve the world.
Veena,
Yeah,
could I interrupt you?
sure.
For the first one, you said I want to be wise. And I believe that a self-affirming truth would be that you are wise.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Okay. Sorry for
And
interrupting.
last one was I'm not chaste. So it would be I am wise. Okay. Third one, last one. I think I have. I don't know how much. I am not chaste. Third one, and wow, I am pure. The affirmation truth would be I am pure in connection to Krishna. That's
Mhm.
that will be self affirmation truth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I wrote I desire to be pure and chaste, make impact. Yeah, yeah. And overall, in all my self-defeating list, all I saw was the desire to improve the world, desire to reform. That's my basic pure desire. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I'm saying all these things to myself because I have that deep desire of impacting others' lives and reform. Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know what affirmation I can have for that. Self-affirmation thought for that. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. I hear the truth that you want to make a meaningful impact on the world in this life. Yeah.
Thank you.
Is that okay, Shira? Go in, Davy, how you want to do that? Like this format? Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing, Veena.
Thank you too.
Veena, is there anything else? Like what was your experience of when you wrote the first column, the self-defeating beliefs? How did it feel? And then when you wrote the self-affirming truths, how did that feel? Did you experience something different?
Yeah, I mean, I felt I dwell more on the negative side of my personality. I dwell on it and I haven't tried to look at it. That I never took a chance to look at them actually, that I'm believing all these things. Like it's just there deep inside me. I'm acting on it. Yeah, that was my observation. Thank you for bringing this out. Yeah. I'm just leaving it. I'm just leaving that I'm not chaste. I'm just leaving the truth that I'm not wise enough. I'm just leaving it unconsciously.
Yeah, so you had this experience of
So second column would be, I said there is some pure thing behind that belief. There is some pure seeking behind that belief. I felt positive while doing second column. I felt good about myself.
Nice, thank you. Yeah, so we can see how like Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says the mind can be enemy and mind can be friend. And so with the help of the intelligence, we can guide the mind in one direction or another, and we can create a reality. We can create our life based on different beliefs. And so it's a little different than, we don't want to force some sort of false positivity, but we want to actually come from deep within and see, oh, these are inside me deeply. So I want to take a look. And when we look at those beliefs, it's like shining the light of our consciousness into that dark place. And when we bring that light of consciousness into that dark place, then we can choose, oh, I see this belief. Do I want to keep it? Is it serving? Is it helping me serve? Is it bringing my purest desires forward? No, it's not. Okay, so like you were saying, Vina, that, oh, I see these things and I haven't really done anything about it. I haven't really made a choice to keep them or not. I just kept them. So we can direct our energies by shining that light of consciousness onto those darker places, like in the, it said that the mind, like the mental body is like a pond. And then we might be able to see we might be able to see the surface, the texture of the surface. But the deeper we go, the darker and murkier it is, and we don't know what's there. And there could be so many beliefs that are totally contrary to devotional life or to a healthy life. But until we shine that light of consciousness down into those places, we really don't have much power to do much about them until that point.
I just wanted to make a comment at this point that we've been working wonderfully, amazingly on our step work, and the fourth step was all about making that first column, looking at those character defects. And at the same time, in that fourth step, we were doing the other columns, and then we had prayers for every step. There was a particular prayer. So as a result of that, the other side became more true, like honesty. If you remember, all of you, when we were working on fourth step, it was not about just dishonestly just writing any self-defeating things. We read a lot about on the importance of honesty, of seeing both sides. So this exercise is very relevant to that particular reading and that particular meeting and discussion. And every day, whenever we are going through situation, first thing we have to become aware is the character defect. First thing. And only then we need to look at the other side of the opening and the opportunity of assets. Yes, Doshna, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. So the activity was really helpful. So my question is, it was easier to write self-defeating beliefs, but if it was difficult to write the self-affirming truths because they are not truths for me. The beliefs were stronger truths. So I was curious to know, thank you for Veena Mataji for volunteering. Uh, so if I just take an example, let's say self-defeating is I am not good enough, and self-affirming, as per your discussion, I understand could be I am good enough. I have sufficient skills or whatever what I need. But that is not truth, right? Is it that we are just, would we just convert it saying I have little right now? I would work for further. I mean, what is like real truth then? I mean, being honest.
I think that's the power of this exercise, is that it doesn't just end here, that this can be a process for you to carry into your life, is to actually look at it and see you are skilled, and what specifically are you skilled in? No, it's you may not be skilled in this area or that area, and your skills may be better here or there, but that's an area where you can explore. So instead of saying I'm not good enough and I'm not skilled, you're looking at I am skilled in these areas, and now I can go further and define what they are and focus on that instead of focusing on I'm not good enough, etc., etc. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you so much.
Can I add something to that as well? Yeah, and ultimately, I have the ability Krishna has given me for today, for now. This is what I have. So that gratitude towards Krishna. Thank you, Krishna. At least I have this much. Like, oh, like there are many, like, oh, I can't give the best class. That may be one side of the self-defeating dialogue. And the other side is, Krishna has given me ability to give classes, at least. So that's the truth. The truth is that, like, even earlier, the point about I have a desire to improve myself. That's also an asset. That's a devotional asset that I want Krishna's will. Basically, what does it mean I want to improve? It's not because I want to improve because I want to be a good wife, that's again mundane, it's again self-will. The idea of why I want to be better is so I can be of service. Why I want to be better so I can align to Krishna's will. So bringing Krishna and every day saying, thank you, Krishna. At least I may not be the best, whatever, but I have this much because of your mercy. So that connecting to Krishna is the core key to the solution. Because it'll never end. I am very good. I'm better than the other person. It'll never end until we come to the conclusion. I have exactly what Krishna has given me for today. And then we cannot be dishonest. Krishna has given us Sangha, Shastra, Japa, whatever we do, he's allowed us to do it. It's amazing. And it's truth, it's the truth, right? So yeah, I love that the way you put it, Brinda Sundari, that this exercise is not that it's like, oh, done, that exercise is done, you tick it off. No, it's a lifestyle. We look at every time we're self-critical, we do this honestly. Fourth step, honesty. Because it can be very escapism to be in tamas guna. I'm not good at that. And then you just remain there. I'm not good with something and don't do anything about it. It's tamas guna. Sattva guna is like, I have an opportunity. Krishna has given me opportunities. And then we open up. Anybody else has any other questions? Vrinda Sundari, do you have the time for the next?
I think so.
Yeah.
It's up to you how you'd like to do it. Do you
I
want
think
more?
the shares we can carry to the meeting because we're going to have the meeting.
Okay.
We have time for shares. We will process this exercise within our breakout sessions. So I think you can go ahead with the
Okay.
once part. No, don't complain.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll do this next one. Okay, there's a question. Oh, Veena, wouldn't it be dishonest to say I am wise? I think that's a process. I think that if we consider that the self, the soul is a Satchit Ananda, that it's understanding, it's knowing, and then it's blissful. So, and it's eternal, that it's wise. It means that when Krishna gives me an understanding, he gave me understanding. When he gave me insight, he gave me insight. So I couldn't say that I'm omniscient, wise, but I could say that Krishna gives me wisdom. I am wise. Maybe I'm not wise all the time, but I'm wise. So
Yeah,
that's in the process.
Yeah, in relation to Krishna. Well, Krishna has given me wisdom to chant my rounds. Krishna has given me wisdom. So in those areas where I'm able to exhibit wisdom, I have the mercy of that part of wisdom in me. Because it can be dangerous to think I'm wise, then we make all stupid decisions.
True. Yeah. Yeah. To know that we do have the ability to tap into the wisdom of the self.
Yeah.
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 Okay. Okay. So we'll move along. So same thing. If you get another piece of paper, so something to write with and something to write on. And again, we're doing 2 columns. And on the left column, we will write a list of all the things you can think of that upset you, and just the opportunity to just let it out. There's something I like to call conscious complaining, where you just allow yourself for a certain amount of time to just complain. All the things that disturb you, that upset you, those all your complaints, you can just write those out. And let yourself be free to write. You can burn the paper later if you want. List all the personal complaints, the universal complaints that you have. And then you can just let it out. Let yourself be free to write. You can burn the paper later if you want. List all the personal complaints, the universal complaints that you have. List all the personal complaints, the universal complaints that you have. List all the universal complaints, the universal complaints that you have. take a few moments to finish that list. And when you're ready, on the second column, you can connect. So basically, for your first complaint, you write a corresponding phrase or sentence that defines what you're wanting. So, for example, my complaint is my house is a mess. So the corresponding want, I'm turning that complaint into a clarifying what I want. I say, I want a tidy, clean house. It's just a simple thing. You don't need to overthink it, but you can see, okay, here's another one. My son is being sassy and talking back to me. That's my complaint. So my corresponding want is, I want a mutually respectful relationship with my son. Or even I could say, I want my son to respect me.
Okay. The first one is more realistic.
but but that's the thing is, we're just writing what we want, you know. We're not doing anything about it. We're just writing what we want. We're just clarifying.
We need 3 columns. One is like I want my husband to be taller. I want my child to be smarter, more respectful. Another one is like, I want to feel satisfied with my life.
Yeah, you probably could. You could probably expand on this exercise.
Yeah, because on one column I have, anyway, I'll tell it when the exercise is done.
Okay. Take a few moments to finish up. So you can take a look at your list and simply observe. Were there any that you felt challenged to clarify the want? What thoughts were coming up when you were doing this exercise? Like, did you feel stuck? Did you have any wants that were repetitive, repeating? Just simply observe, and you can take note about that. And Shrivaj, should we do some sharing now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Anybody likes to share how was this exercise for you, or if any questions came up? I could share, but I kind of did my own exercise, so I'm trying to wait for them to share. Okay, I'll go with mine. So it's interesting. I guess it's because of the step work, the way I've been working on the literature, all the shares that all of you have been sharing. I did write, for example, I'll give a couple of examples. When I do, we say, for example, when I give class, people don't come on time, whatever. It's like the complaint. And then the other part was there were two parts, the higher self and the lower self voice. The lower self says, they should realize how much my time is worth, stuff like that. And then the higher self was, I just want them to take Krishna consciousness seriously. I want them to be truly helped. And so I should pray for them. So I really found that, like, the other column, another example I wanted to give, it was a pattern, similar thing, like, oh, I felt neglected by this person. I didn't feel they gave me an opportunity to give the class. I felt ignored, all those kind of things. And then the lower self was all about, I want to be valued. I want to be validated. I want to be recognized. And the higher self is like, I want the ability to see Krishna's hand. I want to be able to embrace humility and find the strength to become the best version of me that Krishna wants, not want the way things, what my lower self wants. Anyway, that's why I did my own exercise, but I observed that there's higher self and lower self voice.
Yeah, it sounds like in the process of creating, clarifying the wants, you could see there's different layers of yourself that are wanting different things. And even from the lower self, you're saying the lower self is wanting. And then from that, you clarify, you're sort of clarifying from that what ultimately, in a higher sense, what you're wanting. Yeah, that's nice. You sort of expanded the wanting process. Nice.
And like you said earlier to one of the questions, you answered saying that we may have some, I may have some character defect of being unintelligent. It's true. I may also have an element of intelligence. So it would be dishonest to say that I'm not intelligent at all, and it would be dishonest to say I am intelligent.
Yeah, exactly. And even to say, like, yeah, I want, like, I want people to be on time, but just to be able to give ourselves that space to allow ourselves to express the lower self, to express, I want this. And then we can look at it and like a parent to a child, like, okay, I hear that you want that. And we also want just simply the opportunity to speak. Like, we want to be grateful for speaking too. So we can, it's not that, like, the exercise is boom, boom. It's really meant for having us look inside and start to do that internal work.
Yeah, it's a dynamic exercise. It's ongoing. It's not like a static exercise. It's something that can develop and yeah.
But I
Because,
think, Mhm.
like if I did this exercise, I don't know, a couple of years ago, probably the higher self voice was not so loud.
Hmm.
So I'm evolving. I'm developing. So
Yeah.
that's also our meetings. This meetings last couple of months has been amazing because of the shares. It's easier to listen to the higher voice.
Yeah. And I think it's important. What's important is if we bypass the lower voice every time, then what happens is our higher voice isn't coming like a lotus out of the mud. It's like, oh, I'm just gonna skip over the mud part and be like this glowing spiritual being. No, but the lotus comes from the mud. The lotus is growing out of it. So to actually just in a container, like this is our little self-realization container. In that container, we're allowing our lower selves to say, I want this and I want that, and this is what I want. And actually, in doing that, then we clarify, actually, yeah, I want this. Maybe I don't want that as much, but this is what I want. So we can, it's important.
Yeah, I think that brings us to today's meeting. It's all about working on ourselves, awareness with honesty, like-minded Sangha, where we can come together regularly, where we can be honest, where we do those outreach, where we can express where we are at in order to get to where. Otherwise, it's not sustainable. Without recovery, it's not sustainable.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Vrinda Sundari. You're welcome to stay back for the meeting, but this meeting will not be recorded, so we're going to stop